Hello everyone, this is Mayurvad. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to design a chess game. This question was asked in the third round of my Microsoft internship interview. We are going to use object-oriented programming for designing such type of questions. These object-oriented design questions are very frequently asked in companies like Microsoft, Flipkart, DE Shaw, and many other big tech firms. Flipkart also has a machine coding round where you have to code the entire program. Before starting, please subscribe to my channel for interview preparation related and tech related content. In my next videos of object oriented design series, we are going to do many more such problems like designing a tic-tac-toe game, designing a snake and ladder game, designing a splitwise like expense sharing application, designing Trello like list making application. So please subscribe to my channel so that you get notified whenever I upload these videos. So let's get started. Whenever you get a design question, the first and the foremost step is to identify the requirements and functionalities that the program should fulfill. So in our chess game, the basic requirements are till the game is active, players have to take their turn. That is, the game has started and till the game is going on, players have to take their turn. In each turn, take move input from the user, and if the move is valid, allow that move. That is, perform that move. Continue the game until a player wins the game or the game is a draw. So in chess game there are a large variety of conditions in which the game can be a draw or a player can win. So for our problem we are considering only checkmate condition and the stalemate condition. Handle check conditions. So we have to handle check conditions as well. Now let's talk about the advanced requirements. We have to handle special moves, that is castling, pawn promotion, 2 square pawn move. Moreover, we can add computer player, that is we have to make two classes, a human player and a computer player, which will inherit the player class. So for the simplicity of this video, as we are starting with the object oriented design problems, let's just design a code, a program which only fulfills the basic requirements. That is, we will be focusing on our basic requirements only. The next step is to think of the entities involved in the problem. So if we are playing a chess game, we require a chessboard, we require two players, and we require pieces, that is king, queen, knight, rook. So using those entities, we identify the classes. So we will make a class which will represent an entity, and the data members and the methods of those classes can be identified using the properties of our entities. Okay. So if we talk about the chessboard, in the chess game, a chessboard basically is a 8 cross 8 board which hold pieces. Then there are players, and the player will represent a team, that is black team and a white team. Then there are pieces, and there are of 6 categories: king, queen, bishop, knight, rook and pawn. So there are common features between these pieces, king, queen, bishop, and these 6 classes. That is, they all are basically pieces, so they all have a color, that is, they either belong to a black team or white team, and they will have common functionalities, that is, they can move. So queen can move diagonally as well as along the row and column, whereas rook can only move along the rows and columns. Bishop can only move along the diagonals. So they can move differently, so their implementation will be different, but they all have a common functionality, that is they move. So that common functionalities and common features can be kept in the pieces class, and all these 6 classes can inherit the piece class. One basic thing which I would like to tell is that in this step we will just write down the declaration of the methods and complete the implementation later after designing the main class. So we will just discuss about the classes, we will note down their data members, and we will write about the declaration of our methods, but we will not implement this because after implementing the main class we will have a better understanding of what parameters to pass, how to implement, and what the functions should return. And after implementing the main class, we will complete these classes and we will complete the implementation of these methods. Now let us check our classes. So as we discussed, one class is our chessboard class, and a chessboard is basically a matrix which holds pieces. So we have taken a 2D array where each cell of our array is basically a reference or a pointer to the piece class. Second entity was our player, so we have taken a player class and we have taken a data member, boolean data member is white. So if a player belongs to the white team, then is white is true, else it is false. Now I have also taken the references to the pieces that belong to that player. For example, white player have references or pointer to the white king, white queen piece, white knights, and other pieces that belong to that white player. This makes sense because it will help us in implementation, as if we want to access the white king, then instead of iterating the 8 cross 8 matrix, we can just get our white king through our white player. Also, now in terms of input, the player will give us the coordinates of the source cell from where we have to pick our piece and the coordinates of our destination cell where we have to put our piece. So basically a player will give us 4 inputs, that is the row and column of the source cell and the row and column of the destination cell. So we have clubbed all those inputs to form a new class, that is our move class, and the coordinates of a cell, that is the row and column of that cell, are clubbed together to form a position class. So this is how we basically club similar data to form the helper classes. So we just have to think of our main classes and we just have to think of our entities, and we will club our similar data to form the helper classes. Now the player will give us move input. So we have initialized the move object, and the input which the player will give us, we will just put those coordinates in the move object and we will return our move object. Moreover, we have to show the output to our user, and that output should be based on the status of the game. That is, white player wins, black player wins, it is a draw, and there is an error, so there can be many status. We will discuss about our status in the video further, but we have to show the output to the user based on the status. So the third entity which we talked about was our piece. So we have made a piece class, and the features of a piece has been taken as the data members. For example, a piece will have a position on the chessboard, that is the rows and columns of the cell on which it is standing. A piece will have a color, and a piece will be alive or dead. That is, if it is still on the chessboard, it is alive, else it is dead. So if alive is true, if a piece is alive. Now, as we discussed before in the video, there are 6 kinds of pieces and each piece move on the chessboard, but their move is different. That is, a rook moves along the rows and columns, whereas a bishop moves diagonally. So we have taken a check move function, and it is an abstract function. So each of the 6 classes will have their own implementation. It returns a boolean data type. So it takes destination as an input and it checks that if that destination is possible for that piece. For example, a rook can move along the rows and columns. So if the destination of a rook is within the same row or the same column, then it returns true, else it returns false. So as we can see in our king class, first we have called the constructor of the piece class which king class inherits. Then the king has to provide the implementation of its move. Similarly, with the queen class we have done the same thing, and with the knight class as well. So first we have called the constructor of the piece. Then we have implemented the check move function for the knight. So basically it takes destination as input and it checks if the destination is within the chessboard, that is the rows and columns are between 0 to 7. Then we check further, that is we check the 8 positions of the knight. If our destination is amongst those 8 positions, then we mark our result as true, that is, a knight can move to the destination, else the result is false and we return false. So similarly, we have to do or we have to implement the check move function for other 5 classes as well. The third step is to design our main class. So we have designed all our entity classes, but now we have to design our main class, that is our chess game class. This will also help us to identify the relationships between the different entity classes and help us to complete the methods of our entity classes. Now, according to our basic requirements, we have to make a function which will start the game and the game will continue till the end condition is reached. Then we also have to make a function which will help a user to take a turn. It will take the input from the user and then it will perform that input if the input is valid. Also, we need function for check condition, checkmate and stalemate condition. So first of all, let's have an enum which maintain all the statuses of a game. So a game can be active or draw, error, check, black player wins or white player wins. So these are our 6 statuses which we have taken. Now about our chess game class, we need 2 players, that is a black team player and a white team player. Then we need a chessboard. Then we need to maintain whose turn it is. So if currently the turn is of white player, then white turn is true, else it is false. Also, anytime we need to maintain the status of the game to identify if game is still active or if game has ended. If we talk about the constructor of this class, so first of all, we have initialized 2 objects. One is for black player and other is for white player. So if we look at our player class, we have an attribute isWhite. So we have to set this false for the black player and true for the white player. So we have taken input in the constructor of the player, true or false. Along with this, we have references to the pieces of that player. So over here we can also initialize our pieces and we can pass the same flag isWhite to its constructor as well. Because if we see our pieces class, it also has an isWhite attribute, so it also needs to be set. So if this piece belongs to a white player, then in the constructor we have set it true because isWhite data which has been passed is true, else it is false. Also initially all the pieces are alive, so we have set isAlive as true. We haven't initialized the reference position, so initially no piece has a position on the chessboard. We will set this position as well when we will arranging the pieces on our chessboard. So now we have 2 players and each player has its pieces, but now pieces needs to be arranged on the chessboard. So for that we have also initialized the chessboard. We have created an chessboard object, and if we look at our chessboard class, chessboard is basically a board of pieces. So we have initially set each reference to null, but now we have to arrange the board according to the initial arrangement of the chess. We have already created the instances of our pieces, so we just have to set them, or we just have to set the references of the board to them. For that we have passed the players, because in players we have the references to those piece objects, and then we are just pointing the initial cell to that piece object as well. So from white player we have got the white knight and then the board cell of at position 0, 1 points to that white knight. Similarly, from white player we have got the second knight and the board cell 0, 6 points to that knight. From white player we have got white queen, and the board at position 0, 3 points to that queen. Similarly, with the white king, from white player we have got the white king and then the cell of the board at position 0, 4 points to that white king. Also, as we talked before, we haven't set the position of pieces, but now we are keeping the pieces on board. So we also have to set the position attribute of our pieces. So for that, we have used the setter, and in that we are just passing the cell, row and column on which that piece is standing. For example, initially the white knight is standing at position 0, 1 on the board. So we have set the reference of board 0, 1, which is now pointing to the white knight, and also we have set the position attribute of white knight by passing the new position of 0, 1 to that. So if we look at our piece class now we have arranged the pieces on the chessboard, and so each piece also has a position on which it is standing on the chessboard. Now initially in our chess game, the turn is of white player, so we have set white turn is true and the status of game active. Now we have to make a function start game, which will basically start our game. Start game function maintains the status of the game anytime, so initially the status is set as active. Now while the game is active, we call the make turn function, which helps the players to take their turn. So it takes input from the user, check if input is valid, and then performs the move. So it returns -1 if input is invalid or if there is any error, else it returns 1. So if it returns -1, we set the status as error. Else we check if the current player has checkmated the other player. If that is true, then the current player wins. Also we check if the current player has stalemated the other player. If that is true, we set the status as draw. Then we find out who is the current player. If white turn is true, then current player is white, else it is black. We also check that it may happen that current player has checked the other player. So we have to show the other player that he or she has been checked. So for that, we have called the check function, and if the other player is checked, we show the output to the other player that he or she is checked and set the status as check. Else we set the status as active and change the turn. Then this loop will again go on till the status is active or till the status is check. So it will only stop if the status is something other than active or check. And finally, we will show the output: whosoever wins, black wins, white wins, draw or error. The next function is our make turn function, which we called in the start game function to take input from the user, to check if input is valid, and then to perform the necessary changes. So to check if input is valid or not, we have listed down 4 conditions. The first is that a player cannot move a piece outside the chessboard. Also, a player can only move its piece, that is, white player can only move white piece and black can only move black piece. Player can keep the piece only on the box of chessboard which is not occupied or which contains a piece of opponent's color to kill the opponent's piece. And the fourth is that a player cannot move a piece if by moving that piece causes threat or check to the player's king. So in our make turn function, we have first identified who is our current player. So if white turn is true, then current player is white, else it is black. Then we have taken the move input from the user. If you remember, in our player class, we made a method called take move input, which basically takes input from the user. So we are calling the current player's take move input, and that we are storing in our move object. So if our move object is null, then there is some error. Else we are finding the piece which players want to move, and that we are finding by the source box which user give us input. So if there is no piece at the source cell of the chessboard, then also the move is invalid. Now there was a condition that a player can only move its piece, that is the color of the player and the color of piece should be same. So if they are not same, then also there is some error. Also, if at the destination there is a piece and if the piece at destination and the piece which the user or the player wants to move, if both of the pieces are same, that is both the pieces are white or both the pieces are black, then also the input is invalid, so we have returned -1. Now we also need to check that the move which player wants to do with the piece at source is allowed or not. What I mean to say is that a bishop can only walk diagonally. So if the player wants to move the bishop at a cell where bishop cannot reach by walking diagonally from the current cell, then the move is invalid. So we will return false. We have implemented this check move function before as we saw in the night class. So it checks basically if the move that player wants to do, if that is valid for that particular piece or not. So if it is invalid, then also we return -1. Else we will perform the necessary changes. That is, the piece at the source, we will move it to the destination. Also, the cell of the chessboard, the source cell from where the piece is to be moved, we will put its reference to null, and the reference at the destination cell will now point to the source piece which the user wants to move. If the destination is not null, that is a piece is standing at the destination, we will kill that piece and we will set its position to -1. Now the last condition which we needed to check, which we talked before, is that if by moving the current piece the king is in threat, that is the player's king is dying or the player is getting checked by performing its own move, then the move is also not allowed. So that is we are doing using the isCheck function. So in isCheck function we are checking if the other player is checking the current player, and if that is so we will backtrack all our changes. So we have backtracked all the changes made before. So if the current king is not safe or the current player's king is not safe by the current player's move only, then we have backtracked all the changes in this code and we have returned -1. Else we will return 1, that is we have taken the input, we have performed the move and the move was valid. Now if we check the isCheck function, in the isCheck function the other player's king is being attacked by the current player. So for this we find the coordinates of the other king's position on the chessboard using the getter, and then we called the isAttacking at spot function, in which we are passing a player and the position of the chessboard. So this function basically checks if the player which we are passing, that is the current player which we are passing in the parameters, if that can attack on this spot of the chessboard, on this position of the chessboard using any of its piece. So in this function what we have done is that we have taken a player and a position of the chessboard and we are checking if this player can attack at this position using any of its piece. So first we check if the player's king can attack at that position using the check move function of the piece abstract function which we talked about earlier. Then we are checking using the player's queen, player's knights, and similarly we can check using player's bishops, pawn and rook. So after all this we have also created two functions, is checkmate function to check if the checkmate condition is reached and stalemate function to check if the stalemate condition is reached. So we haven't implemented this function, but these functions can also be simply implemented in this video. Our main focus was on the design and not on their implementation. The final and the last step is to complete the member methods the constructors, the setters and getters of the entity classes which we were designing in this step 2. So we have completed our main class, and based on our main class we can complete the constructors, setters, getters and any other member methods of our entity classes. For example, over here we have used many functions like getKing, so we can add a getter in our player class. CheckMove function, we have to complete this member function, which is a member function of piece class. Then there are setPiece function of chessboard class. We have to make that function and complete that function, so it is a setter. SetIsAlive, it is also a setter. SetPosition, so of piece, we are setting the position, so it is also a setter of piece class. So we have to complete all these functions. Now after completing all the functions, our finally code looks like this. We have added all the setters and getters. We have completed the checkMove function. We have added the setters and getters. Over here as well, we have completed the constructor. We have added the setters and getters of chessboard, which we frequently used in our main function. We have completed the constructor. So after our main function, main class, chess game class, we have completed all our code, and now it was simple for us to complete, as we know what parameters are passed in these functions, what we have to return. So finally our code looks something like this, and the link to the code is also shared in the description section. Now one thing I would like to tell is that there are many designs possible, and this is one of the designs. You can try out your own design, and if you like this video, please like it, share it, and please subscribe my channel for more interview preparation related content, tech related content, and we are going to discuss more such problems. So please subscribe so that you get notified. Thank you so much for watching.